Russia's Federation Council is urging to sever diplomatic relations with Estonia following the dismantling of the war memorial to Soviet soldiers in Tallinn. Estonian authorities removed the monument from the capital overnight after clashes between police and people protesting against its destruction. One person died and dozens were injured. Some 300 were detained. Violence broke out when police tried to disperse some 1,000 demonstrators with stun grenades. The Estonian government's decision to remove the monument and exhume the bodies of Soviet soldiers has angered Moscow and the local Russian community. Well, we are now joined live by our correspondent Ann Smith, and she can bring us the latest now. Ann, we talked about an hour ago with you, and as you said, the cameras were not allowed anywhere near the monument. So what's the situation there like now?
Well, we are now allowed near the monument. Obviously, the monument where the monument used to stand. But as you've already mentioned, the monument was moved overnight. It was a very last-minute decision. We understand that a high-level group of government, the Estonian government, met in a kind of crisis committee emergency meeting last night to discuss what to do. It was very much a spur-of-the-moment thing following the huge violence that struck Tallinn, and basically decided to move the monument as it had become the cornerstone of the clashes. Now, the monument was moved, as I say, overnight to a military cemetery under a police guard, and we understand that whilst we're not able to get as close to it at the moment, it will be open for commemoration on May the 9th, that's Victory Day, which is a big event for many of the Russian community here in Estonia.
Well, yes, indeed, absolutely. It's a very big holiday, and people, as you know, bring their children and grandchildren to it to commemorate the victims and those who died in that war. Now, Anne, let's talk about the reaction from officials in Moscow.
Well, as you say, the ethnic Russian community is obviously very upset about this, hence the protest which began last night. And Moscow has also been very scathing about any plans to move this monument of the bronze soldier, the Soviet soldier war memorial. And for many months they've been saying that they would be deeply upset if this happened. And in fact, last week, the Estonian ambassador was called to Moscow to call account, and obviously for Moscow to make its protest known. And just last night, when Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, heard of the large-scale protests going on, he made his reaction very clear. This is what he had to say.
This is repulsive. I have not seen the footage, but I still hear what is going on there. I believe there can be no justification for that. This is blasphemy. This will have serious implications for our relations with Estonia and will ultimately impact on relations with NATO and the European Union, organizations that have admitted a country which tramples on the cornerstone values of the European Union, European culture and European democracy.
Well, the Foreign Ministry has also now commented on the situation with the monument being moved, and they have said that they are absolutely sickened and calling for decisions to be, for the Estonia to be announced internationally, and an official statement will be released on that very soon. And as you mentioned earlier, the Council of Federation are looking now to end diplomatic ties with Estonia.